Great Monday morning, you all. How are you all doing? Happy Monday. This is your girl, Shan. You know I say that every Monday. I hope and pray that you all are in a good mood now. Come on. A lot of y'all won't be working on Thursday because you know it's Thanksgiving. I don't know how many of y'all as excited as I am. But anyway, happy Monday. You know, I do my little church announcements, and I hope and pray that I remember this other one. Let me just go ahead and say it now. So, Marriage Mondays with the Kings, that is our radio show. A lot of people are still unaware, even though they listen to me, they think this is me and my husband's radio show. Good morning, Dalisha. Good morning, Alex. Me getting on here speaking every Monday morning. No, we actually have a radio show, which is called Marriage Mondays with the Kings. This is birth. Good morning, Cherie. Good morning, Alberta. This right here is birth. Good morning, cousin Felicia. Out of the radio show. Okay, wouldn't be no queen if it wasn't for the Kings. Anywho, tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, let me read it. We will be talking about healing is important in your marriage. That's the topic. The question of the day: what have you not healed from personally that is hindering your marriage wholly? Again, what have you not healed from? Then when we talk about heal, we talk about you sweeping it under the rug, you acting like that thing don't exist. A whole healing personally that may be affecting your marriage wholly. So let me get this other quick church announcement. Then I'm going to get into my topic for today. When are you going to grow up / mature? Okay, that's the topic for today. But the other church announcement is this, and I'll say it again at the end. At no time do me or my husband sell any of our radio show topics, okay? If you all happen to be on social media, you know, maybe you've shared this video or maybe you shared our content from our podcast for our radio shows, and anybody provides a link saying this is a PayPal, please don't do that, okay? If you ever want a copy, good morning, Tasha. If you ever want a copy for your own personal use of our radio show, our content belongs to Kingdom Revelation Gospel Network, which is KRGN. Please contact the radio station. We got some of our old school, you know, our seasoned saints, and they say I don't deal with that technology. I would like to have that radio show topic on a CD or whatever the case may be. Contact KRGN. For your young heads such as myself who's into technology, Google it. Please do not let anybody say, oh yeah, you can receive a copy and they send you a PayPal link. Baby, you about to get duped. We do not sell our stuff, okay? Now that the church announcements is over, when are you gonna grow up? Now, y'all follow me now. Have y'all ever seen somebody maybe that you graduated with in the same way? Now, we not knocking nobody, but the same way they was back then is the same way they are now. Let me give some good old example because you know that's what I do. Let's say back in the day you had a dude, he was nice looking, whatever the case may be. He had 3 and 4 girlfriends. This joker's a whole 40, 50 years old. He ain't as nice looking, but he still got 3 or 4 girlfriends. When are you going to grow up and when are you going to mature? Now, when I say when are you, I'm talking about us as individuals. I want you to ask yourself this in your individual life, okay? Because I'm going to bring a scripture too, one of my favorite scriptures. Good morning, Heather. In your individual life, have you actually seen any growth and maturity of yourself from, let's go 10 years back. They starting up this little 10-year challenge again. Let's go 10 years back. Have you seen any growth and maturity in yourself? If you are married, have you seen any growth and maturity in your marriage? Now, you know your girl, she ain't going to tell on herself. I'm going to just kind of share what I think some things look like when you're still acting immature. But first, let me go to this good old word of God. Yes, I am on this morning. So I'm going to be reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11 in the King James Version. Hey, Marlon. And it reads like this. When I was a child, some of y'all know this and y'all saying it with me because y'all grew up in the church. When I was a child, I spake as a child. That means spoke. As a child, I understood as a child. That means I thought as a child. I spake as a child. I received and comprehended as a child. I thought as a child. But when I was a man, I put away childish things. Now, I'm going to say man and woman, okay? I'm not trying to change up the Bible. But what childish things have you put away, especially in regards to your marriage? See, a lot of marriages are still not working because we're still thinking and we're speaking as a child, okay? So let me talk about your girl Shan real quick, because I'm going to put my own little dirt out there because it'll help somebody. I know some people still be, why you be putting your business out there? Because that's what the Lord say do. God has brought me and my husband through, and this can help bless somebody else, okay? So when me and my husband first got married, I did speak as a child, and I thought as a child, and I understood as a child. And I'm not trying to make any excuses, but I didn't know anything about marriage. Most of us don't when we get married. We see examples through everybody else, but we really don't know what marriage is like. And this is what we got to understand. As you grow, the two become one, as the word of God says. You're no longer two, but one flesh. You're going to go through some things. It's almost like a worm that turns into a butterfly, and they go through that metamorphosis. You're going to go through some things. And what we got to understand is we cannot think childish in our ways and think that our marriage should be just like somebody else's, because it's not. You see what I'm saying? So when I first got married, I operated off of what I seen growing up and what I knew and thought to be right, which was childish. I didn't know any better, okay? But when you know better, you do better. That's what's said, right? So in saying that, when my husband would ask me to do something, I thought he was controlling me, which he really wasn't. Now I see that, but I didn't then. Baby, that started a fight. And when that started a fight, I used to cuss that joker out. He would cuss me, I would cuss him. He never called me the B word, you know what I'm saying? I never really called him out his name, but I'm just going to keep it real for somebody on this morning, because y'all just got finished cussing each other out, okay? But I used to cuss my husband out. And I remember when I was in the military, I want to say I was serving right here at Fort Hood, when I was stationed here at Fort Hood with my husband. What ended up happening is I remember a senior NCO, and I was probably like an E4. Some of y'all who was in the military, you understand what I'm saying. And baby, when I tell you I used to cuss like a sailor, I used to cuss like a sailor. Oh, blank that and da-da-da, all them creative, uncreative words. And I remember the guy saying, you know what? Good morning, Miss Valerie. He said, you know what? Can I tell you something? And I said, yes. I still had the attitude because I had that young mindset. He said, when you cuss, it sounds, he said, when women cuss, it sounds so unattractive. And I instantly got an attitude. I didn't say anything smart because I was lower listed. He was, I wasn't stupid. I wasn't trying to be doing no push-ups or nothing. But I thought that thing has carried me all these years. I'm no longer serving in the military, but I can agree with him. I think sometimes when anybody cuss too much, it sounds very unattractive or whatever. But I used to cuss my husband. Oh my God, I used to cuss that joker out. And then my mindset was very immature. And let me tell you why. Because I had low self-esteem. Because I was still thinking and operating as a child. I used to always think that this is too good to be true. Some of y'all are in some marriages where you think, man, this is too good to be true. And what I used to think was, he gonna leave me one day. He gonna cheat on me. So anytime a female came around him, now don't get me wrong, we did have some that tried it. You know what I'm saying? And let me digress and stay focused. But anytime another female came around him, my insecurities within myself and my immature mind would often go in on him. Oh, she like you. Oh, she want to be with you. Why you he and ha-ha in her face like that? Like I was so immature in my thinking. Now, my mature mindset right now, let me tell you what my mature mindset, my grown woman mindset is right now, is guess what? I'm going to have faith in God. I'm going to trust and believe in my husband. True enough, God will show you when somebody is not up to any good. They up to no good, as we used to say in the country, when it comes to your husband and your wife. God will show you, especially when you have a relationship with him. But I don't think like that anymore. What I think is, let me try to be the best wife that I can to my husband, support him, pour into him, pray over him, be there for him, and God forbid, if that man ever decided to go the other way, guess what? I know I've done all that is within me to make sure that my marriage, that I poured into it. Now, let me get into some immature mindset and thinking right now, and I still see this to this day. Let me tell you something, bro and sis. If you haven't got it yet, when you in a marriage, and this is for the singles, think about this when God brings you your future husband or wife. You see what I'm saying? When brother, God tap you on your shoulder and say, there she is right there. That's your wife. When God tells you that is your man of God that I have created for you, I have created for you, okay? So let me tell you, when you are in a marriage, the marriage is not about you, okay? That's immaturity. When you set up and always think that everything in the marriage, let me talk to some of my sisters. Y'all know it's equal opportunity. I keep it real up in here. Well, daddy treated me like this, and I was a princess and daddy. Let me tell you something, sus. Let me tell you something. You're not married to your daddy, boo. Because guess what? When you are two as husband and wife, and you starting to become one flesh, you're not married to your daddy. You're married to your husband. So I'm going to need you to mature from that mindset and know that you got to put in some work when it comes to your husband, okay? Now, equal opportunity. Let me switch gears, all right? Now, when it comes, husbands, to your wife, this is what I need you to understand, because I see this quite often. You have wives that pour so much, and I ain't saying y'all don't, brothers, because y'all about to click out. But you have wives that pour so much into the marriage. They pour so much. They give every fiber of their being. God created us as women to be emotional beings. That does not mean that you are not to pour back into your wife, okay? Because the word of God says that what you sow, you shall reap. That what you pour in, you shall get out, okay? You can't go to your bank and expect to pull out $1,000 when you only got 10 cents on your credit, on your statement. You see what I'm saying? So you, my brother, need to pour in. And let me tell you now, I ain't trying to brag on my king. See, y'all got me rocking up in here on this morning. You need to learn how to pour in. Now, you may say, well, I get up and I go to work every day. Okay, let me tell you this. Your girl Shan been working ever since she was 16. And as of probably about the past year and a half, your girl Shan ain't been working, okay? But my husband get up and he goes to work every day. I gets up. Now I'm praying over my husband first thing in the morning. I'm pouring back into my marriage. I gets up and I make his lunch. Hey, everybody to each his own. Because guess what? While my baby getting ready, I don't want him making his lunch. I pour back into my marriage. You see what I'm saying? I will send him a text throughout the day. Hey, baby, how is your day going? I hope everything is fine. If he don't respond back to me, my immature self don't jump in and say, oh, he must be talking to somebody else. No, because I know my man is busy and he may be in a meeting. When my husband comes home, I greet my king at the door and I give him a kiss. I give him a kiss when he leave. I give him a kiss when he come back. How you doing, baby? As I'm grabbing his lunch bag and asking him how his day is, I pour back into my marriage. You see what I'm saying? And into my man. But let me tell you something. When my husband retired from the military, and I begged of my husband, please don't go to work just yet. Allow your mind to transition from being a senior non-commissioned officer and getting used to being a civilian again. It was a whole bunch of people dying. That's a whole nother situation. However, when I was working and my husband wasn't, even though he was still bringing in a check, okay? My husband would get up and make me breakfast in the morning. My husband would pack my lunch. My husband would have dinner made when I came home. My husband would tell me, baby, your bath water is ran and your pajamas is laying on the bed. Come on now. That's when you get to a place of maturity and you understand in your marriage that your marriage is no longer about you. It's no longer about me. Well, because let me tell you what happened. When your marriage is out of whack and is not balanced, especially when us women hit the age of 40, that's when we sit up and begin to think, wait a minute, I've been pouring, and I'm tired. Now, husbands and wives, whichever situation of this that you find yourself in, know that your spouse is going to get tired. If they're the one that's always pouring, and your tail sitting back receiving like it's some sweet tea, some Texas sweet tea with some lemon on the side, or some good old red or grape Kool-Aid, and you always receiving and you never giving back, let me tell you, your husband and your wife is going to get tired. Okay, so yeah, you kicking back, yep, and then you bragging about all the labels that your spouse has bought you, but you don't do nothing for them, and you expect your marriage to work. Let me tell you something, brother and sis, you still in an immature mindset when it comes to your marriage. You cannot sit up here and get mad when you see somebody else's marriage that's selling and progressing, And yours is not, because all you worried about and all you got married for was to receive. Let's be honest. That's immature. You still speaking as a child and you still thinking as a child. But when are you going to learn, as 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 11 say, when you going to learn to put away childish things? Let me tell you, and I'm not trying to brag on me and my husband. Y'all will see in the next couple of weeks, baby, God has been good to us. 2017 was rough, so me and him had to be on one accord to get through 2017. But 2019 was a straight blessing, and y'all see another blessing here probably about next Sunday. I'm gonna post another blessing. See, my mindset is this, and I don't know about y'all. I look at my husband like, okay, what we doing next? I get so excited. Okay, God, what you got for us to do next? You see what I'm saying? We done ran a business. We done been to school together. We done did all this. What are y'all doing together? Now, see, I heard wives and husbands. My husband heard the same thing. Well, the husband said, well, my wife, she ain't got time for me because she always over here doing this. She doing this in her business. She doing this with the kids. And she saying she ain't never got time for me. And I ain't talking about just sexually, okay? My wife is ripping and running and she doing everything else. But when it come to me, she don't have time for me. See, this is what I learned. That and what you love, you make time for, okay? As far as me and Mr. King, baby, let me go country real quick. Everything is put on the back burner. What you say, and see, I'm the type. Let me check with my king. Let me see, because you can't say, well, shit, can you? Let me check with my king and I'll get back with you. Some of y'all need to do that in y'all's marriage. That's why you just got finished arguing. And wives, you need to, let me check, husbands, let me check with my queen and see, and then I'll get back with you and see if we'll be able to meet up and link up with you or whatever the case may be. You make time for that in which you have desire for. I understand working extra hours and all that kind of stuff for a season. I understand that, especially if you're trying to come out of debt and whatever it is that God has placed for y'all to do. But ask yourself, are you actually pouring into your marriage like you should? Are you actually thinking maturely about your marriage? Are you speaking maturely about your marriage? Are you still carrying yourself like a little kid? It don't impress me when I see husbands and wives, you know, they... Prime example, because I'm not a label person and I'm not knocking anybody. Yeah, we just got this new Mercedes-Benz. Well, praise the Lord. But it doesn't impress me because as far as me and the King household, we don't run after labels. We create memories, okay? Me and my husband create memories and we making moves. A lot of y'all are sitting stale and stagnant in your marriage. It's not moving anywhere and it's not going anywhere. And let me tell you why, because you're not operating as one. You make it look good to everybody else like y'all on one accord. But when you get in the house behind closed doors, baby, that is not the truth. Trust and believe, because Kenya and Shan used to do that. We used to go into church. We used to smile, have a little church suit on, our heels, honey. We made it look like we had it all together. We made it, oh, we had to have this title. We had to have this position and all this other kind of stuff to make it look like for the world. But when God was looking at our marriage, he was looking at a hot mess, because when we returned back to the house, we was arguing with each other, we was cussing with each other, and we was going to our separate corners. That's how it used to be. So ask yourself, what does your marriage look like now? Have you been married for some time? Do you see some maturity? Do you see some marital growth? Do you see some maturity and some growth within yourself? Some are singles. Y'all so quick, you want to get married and everything, but baby, if you ain't matured in yourself and you still speaking immaturely, you carrying yourself immaturely and everything like that, let me tell you what's going to happen. Your spouse that God has for you is mature and waiting on you, but you not willing to grow up. You got to know it's not all about you, boo. So again, I don't know who I'm talking to. Somebody going through this right now on this morning, but it's time to grow up. If you ain't seen no grow up in your marriage and you ain't seen no maturity in yourself, then you can't expect your marriage to reach the higher heights that God has for it. Quit worrying about everybody else around you, because guess what? You can't have an opinion about my marriage if you're not paying my bills. Okay, that's just what it is. I can't have opinion, and my husband can't have an opinion about your marriage unless you asking. You want to know what we think. You know what I'm saying? Unless we paying your bills. See, y'all give people outside of y'all marriage too much credit and willpower inside your marriage. You wonder why it's not working. Some of y'all's mamas shouldn't be up in your marriage like that unless she exhorting and she's speaking positivity and speaking life. And this is the type of mama, because you know, this the type of mama that, baby, she gonna tell her own child you messing up. She gonna tell the in-law you messing up because she wants to see both of y'all operate. Daddies, y'all the same way. She ain't your little princess anymore. I mean, she gonna always be your princess, but she's somebody else's wife. So you need to be able to tell your little princess, come here, baby girl. Even if you are 45, you messing up. Come here, son-in-law. That ain't how you supposed to treat my daughter. It needs to be equal opportunity, okay? So I always say, I don't know who I'm talking to on this morning. I really don't. But I hope and pray that y'all be blessed by what is said. I hope and pray that a change is going to come. I hope and pray that you and your spouse desire to have that best blessed marriage that God has ordained for you. Because I'm telling you, when you put away childish things and you start reaching for maturity and growth in God, and you desire to see your marriage be better and it not be all about you and you out here shining and big timing. That's what we used to say growing up. But when you speak, you often speaking about your spouse and you meaning it from the heart. You ain't out there faking it. You actually saying, oh, I love my husband, baby. Y'all know me. Don't talk about the king because, honey, I don't mind wearing an orange jumpsuit and the Lord knows my heart, okay? Not when it comes to mine. You can say what you want about anybody else's husband. I don't care what title you possess, from the president all the way down to the line guy. Don't you say nothing about my king. See, that's growth and maturity. Whereas I used to be talking about him. I used to be cussing him. I used to be diminishing him. We was doing the same thing to each other. It's time to grow up, okay? So look. Your girl Shan ain't going to be on next week. We're not going to have our radio show on next week because Thanksgiving is on Thursday. Some of y'all got the green smoke soaking like I do as we speak. You see what I'm saying? And making them good old chocolate chip homemade cookies and all that. So we're going to have family in town. So we're not going to be on next Monday. And through the rest of the year, we're going to probably be every other week because we got some things coming up that we'll be sharing with y'all as well. Again, our radio show tonight, we will be on where we're going to be talking about healing. A lot of y'all marriages is not moving forward because you're not healing with personal things and you're not healing from things that happen in your marriage. You still holding on to the past. So that's tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on KRGN 98.5 FM. And again, if you ever see somebody share our content on social media and somebody say, how do I get a copy of this on digitally or email to me or whatever? We do not sell our content. Marriage Mondays with the King's content belong to KRGN and the owners of KRGN, okay? So if anybody ever provide a PayPal link, oh, just send the money to this link, no. Contact KRGN, the radio station, our headquarters, if you desire to have any of our content, okay? Because people are out there doing stuff they ain't got no business doing to make some quick money. Inbox us, and we can tell you how to reach out to KRGN to get, but it's not our content, okay? So look here, y'all. Y'all have a blessed Thanksgiving, okay? We always talk about on our radio show that we help to build stronger marriages, which leads to stronger families and stronger communities. This Thursday, spend time with your family, okay? We don't need to wait until it's a funeral before we see family, all right? So if your family don't like coming together, spend time with the ones who do like to come together. And y'all have a country good time, okay? So your girl Shannon be back with you in 2 weeks. Well, whatever it is, the God placed in my heart, as well as us, me and my husband, our radio show, Marriage Mondays with the King. So y'all have a blessed week. Blessings to you. Don't let anybody steal your joy. They can't unless you allow them to. Okay, share this because somebody need to hear it. Their marriage is going through. Somebody's on the brink of divorce, I am sure. Okay, we know these things, all right? Be a blessing to somebody today, all week, the rest of the year, and not a curse. And your girl Shannon be back with you in 2 weeks for whatever it is that God places on my heart. So God bless you and blessings to you.